refresh our coffee first. No tricks, just boiling water, a filter basket, a wide mouth jar, and a dash of dairy. Well, the first way to get into herbalism is to make a tea. But before you do that, wash your face.
What?
And there's a reason for this, because this application has 3 benefits to you. First one being a steam inhalation, the second one being a steam facial, and the third being obviously the tea itself. So get your cold water, your cinnamon, your turmeric root, your salt, and your herb boiling in a pan, and keep the lid on it and let it boil for about 10 minutes, and then turn it off and let it cool for about another 10 minutes. That's when you'll remove the lid and do your steam inhalation and your steam facial. And then you'll strain off your tea and let it cool till it's completely drinkable before you add your honey. And this is the herb I used. It's prunella self-heal from my yard. And I would recommend going out, checking out the sunset with your tea, and see what you can find growing in the yard. As it turns out, this is way number 2 of getting into herbalism. What kind of herbs are down there? They're everywhere. They're hiding. But the plants that are growing down in the grass, there's herbs, there's medicine all around you. Believe that, people. Believe that. So what you gotta do is harvest some of these so-called weeds. Because when we get into the terminology of it all, a weed is an unwanted plant. But the definition of an herb is a weed. That's what makes herbalism so hilarious, is that we're literally after the plants that people are trying to destroy. Weed whack, yank, pull, over-fertilize till they die. Yep, those are the plants we want. And before we get into way number 3, I just had to show you my champagne eggs. Oh my gosh. Because these are the kinds of things that happen when you realize you can ferment just about anything. What you're going to do is take the plants that you harvested from the yard, and you're going to learn every single thing you can about those plants. Google Lens it, whatever you need to do to identify those plants, and research the heck out of them. Because the very definition of the word herbalist is student of herbs.
What?
So that means we have a lot of homework to do. Until you've worked with an herb all by itself, definitely don't mix them up until you're sure and experienced with those herbs. So I would use them in singularity to get to know them well. And definitely the first application is to boil the plant all by itself in some water and get to know how it's going to stain the water, what it smells like in the air. So to take some of the fresh leaf and just chew it up in your mouth. Don't swallow it or anything. Just get to know the flavor of the fresh leaf. If it's bitter, if it's sweet, what aroma it has. And just take the tiniest little taste of your tea. Let your mind kind of work around it. And if in about 15 minutes from then you feel like going ahead and drinking it, drink it, but drink it very slowly. I would never suggest that you start making a tea or doing any kind of an application with any plant unless you're completely 100% sure of what it is. And